Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
First job as a teacher at a high school in a rural town of about 1,000. The school has not been updated since the building was constructed in the late 40s. The town has a history of mountain men folklore and blue-collar lifestyle. Being a first-year teacher, swamped with work, staying late at school to grade and prep. About 10 p.m., sitting in the school library by myself with all the lights off except for a few to work by. Feel creeped out by scenario, but keep it up. Print some copies. Head out into the hall to get to the printer, hit the lights in sequence to light my way. Grab papers, plan out my escape to hit lights behind me. So I am never standing alone in darkness in this big empty school. I realized I left my bag downstairs in the science lab. Done for the night, but I need that bag. Take my chances and run to the end of the hall in complete darkness. Hit lights to the stairwell and bound downstairs. Get into the lab, grab my bag, shut the door behind me, hear a help that sounds like it is coming from inside the room. Do a double take and look through the window into the lab. See a small light was left on, illuminating exactly one desk in the room. I don't remember hitting a switch for that side of the room. Nope.mp4. Rush up the stairs, flip switches off and fly out of the front door of the school. Go to bed shaking. Come in next day. I realized I left the front doors to the school completely unlocked. I was so scared. Nobody says anything to me. Go about my day. Do not say a word. Stop in the science lab to see what switch went to that light. Not a single one turns on, only that one light. The teacher in the room tells me she found a bunch of items on the floor she remembered putting on her desk before she left. Asks if I know anything. Shake my head no, and leave. Never stay late to work at school ever again. Toward the end of the year, I shit you not, the superintendent told me that there was a fire in the school science lab 60 years prior where a young student was killed. Proof, can't find newspaper article online, but the town website mentions the fire. Linked in the description. Teacher from earlier back again. I do have another school haunted work story if you guys are interested, gonna post anyway. Still teaching at a small school in a rural town. December. It is snowing like crazy and nighttime. Terrible service in my apartment. So I take a walk across the street to the school, which happens to be on top of a hill looking down the valley and gets exceptional service. Standing in the parking lot, freezing my ass off and chatting with my girlfriend. Snow falling like crystals. It is really pretty. Not wanting to be cold, but not wanting to go into school at night because I was afraid of what I experienced last time. Tuck into the corner of the building outside and below the window. Phone call is getting static. Tell girlfriend I'm getting off the line. Hang up, and at about this time swear I still hear static. The whole location is dead silent except for this sound. I don't want to do it. But step out anyway to peek inside the window of school. See nothing. Phew. Start walking back home. Halfway across the lot when I hear static again. Turn back to look at school. 2 small lights turned on. Same rooms that were haunted last time. No cars in lot. I was near the only entrance to school. Whoever turned them on had to be in the school, in the dark, for the past hour or so. Lights flicker off and on, like they are signaling me. Nope, rush back home. This is the second to last time I ever go back at night. Last time coming in the next post. Last at school at night story. Girlfriend at the time was visiting my apartment. Cold and snowy, still December. Nuzzle up close for warmth and we start getting frisky. Girlfriend suggests we go into the school at night. She knows how ridiculously afraid I am of that school at night. Can't be a wuss in front of girlfriend though, so I agree to let her in. Girlfriend is really cocky once we get inside. She does not know my stories. Get her into my classroom. The only light is the moonlight coming in through classroom windows. On our way out the door, I am surprised nothing happened. Ask girlfriend if she wants something from the teacher's room fridge. We store drinks and treats there. She responds but does not follow me. Walk out of the lounge and cannot find her. Search everywhere upstairs. She is nowhere to be found. Worried, I shout and hear no response. Go downstairs. Nothing. Freaking out, now I rush outside and run around the building. Girlfriend is huddled in the bushes as far from school as possible, shaking. I say, "What is wrong? I was scared about you." Tells me she wandered the hallway after I left the room to see the rest of school. She got to the middle of the hallway and stopped when she saw the silhouette of a person rushing through the door and downstairs. She bolted when the door opened on its own and heard a slam downstairs. We never talked about school or my job again. Actually, one more, only somewhat related. Last 2 months at the teaching job. Working summer program teaching environmental summer camp. Town is in an uproar because a local girl went missing. Police all over town asking questions. Parents and kids are on edge, having the campers play in a stream looking for crayfish and other things. The water was extremely cold that day. One of the kids finds a section of brick red clay and starts playing in it. Sediment is normally a dark black color, but do not think anything of it. I show kids the clay and find it is covering this whole section of the stream, and we have a good time learning about clay. Take my older students to just under the town bridge and go fishing. Kids keep hearing splashing and what sounds like yelping from the water. Just the current and echoes of traffic above our heads, I tell them. Go back to the apartment that night and have nightmares, trouble sleeping. Keep hearing people outside my apartment, mostly a man arguing with a young girl. It is so late I do not even bother, as it just sounds like she is a tween that got in trouble. The next day I am back at the stream with my campers, when one of the fathers rushes down and grabs his 2 kids, says they are leaving immediately. My aide suggests that maybe we should leave, get back to school and find police are overloading the place. They found the body of the missing girl under the bridge in the water. She'd been there for at least a week, body bloated and near frozen. Organs had burst from her body and scattered downstream. My face when I was having students play in the same water right near where she died. My face when I heard the arguing outside and had nightmares after doing this. My face when the red clay shook me the fuck up.
Some story from my high school chemistry teacher. Sorry for crappy and Grish, by the way. Him a decade ago, still in high school. One girl restroom, rumored to be haunted. Nobody is using it, but it's still open. One girl in his class does not talk much. One day, she becomes talkative. Class is kind of confused. Some people notice she has been using the haunted restroom. Some girls followed her, waiting outside the toilet, hear her talking. She says, "Maya." Tell the story to seniors in club activity. Seniors went, "Oh shit." Maya is the name of the ghost. Lot of seniors and teacher knew this, but not this girl. Since then, lot of people have been seeing this girl talking alone. The story was heard by the teacher. This teacher questions the girl. The girl says, "No, I did not talk to myself. Maybe some people were mistaken." Teacher says, "Oh, all right," and does nothing. This girl is now spending more and more time in the restroom. One day this girl was sick in class. She went to the school clinic, and somebody sat in her seat in class. The seat is beside the glass window. Class continues. Suddenly this guy screams. Everybody in class looked at him. Girl outside the window. Girl disappears. Some other guy opens the window and looks outside. Nobody.x. So, How do I describe this? It was on the 3rd floor. Usually classroom has windows on left and right. One side is hallway, the other is the side of the building. But there's some extra floor outside where you can stand, but not easily accessible. The entire school is getting more suspicious of this girl. The teacher tells her to stop this creepy bullshit. Girl says, "I did nothing." Okay then, the teacher locks this restroom. Girl stops going there. One day in class. This girl screaming like hell. Possessed.jpg. Teacher and guys holding her. Girl keeps screaming intelligible words. Between intelligible words, she screams something like, "Gimme back my friend." Some paranormal guy called for an exorcist. Exorcism done, girl calms down. The teacher asked her what happened. Girl says something like, "Was in class, then Maya came to me in the window, then everything went black." Teachers decide to board the door. Few weeks later, this girl screaming from inside the restroom. Teacher and some students come. Cleaning guy, that guy who usually mops floor, big guy, destroys the door and the boards with a hammer. Pow, boom, Hue.jpg. Girl crying inside the toilet. Did not know how did she end up here. Her classmates said she has been missing since 10 a.m. Now it is like 2 p.m. Some guy from a different class said they saw her walking on the extra floor I mentioned before thing. And did some crazy Assassin's Creed stuff outside the building. She went into the bathroom from the window. She did not even remember. Girl sent home. The teacher barricades the windows and the door. Piles some desks and chairs in front of the door. I forgot what happened after this point. Probably the girl was moved to another school or got some exorcism again, so she forgot about her friend. But there was still some small incident with the same ghost. Small incident from same ghost. There is a club activity where some people stays overnight at school. A group of girls explore the school at night. Went behind the school building. Then my teacher, in front of the building, saw girls running, screaming, panicking, falling, shitting themselves from behind school. He thought, what the hell? The girls said, "Shadow of someone back there. Really dark behind the school. Usually nobody goes there at night, and nothing important back there, so no light." My teacher said, "Bullshit." He and a few friends checked it. Walk there, on the side of the building. Another one from the same night. One teacher decides to sleep in the school clinic. Sleep in one of the clinic beds and close the curtain, like in a hospital where each bed has curtain around it. Wake up, midnight. From behind the curtain, this teacher saw the clinic door open. Somebody walks in searching for something in the medicine cabinet. He was still sleepy, but had a small conversation with this person. A girl. This girl leaves, and the teacher goes back to sleep. Morning. Teacher asks students. Somebody who was sick last night, the one who went to clinic and taking some medicine, feels better now. The students say, they say, who? The teacher shit himself. My teacher also said about some other incident where someone got possessed in his high school, which is quite often. Same school, different ghost, girl from a different class. Blululualu awawa. Possessed.hue. Teacher calls some guy, exorcist. Done, the girl tells some story. Beginning of class. Teacher comes in. Old guy comes in behind teacher. This Gramps freezes in front of the classroom staring at her for an hour. She was confused because nobody seemed to be bothered by him. At some point, this Gramps starts shaking like having epilepsy, limping towards her. Halfway he fell and starts crawling really fast towards her, gets under her desk and grabs her feet. She cannot move her body. The Gramps chokes her and forces open her mouth. His mouth opens wide in front of her eye. blank. The classmate and teacher saw no Gramps. School dismissed after that. My teacher says, "Yay."
B. Little, about 7, at my sister's school in the evening because there is a concert or something. I am outside on the grounds because I am bored and restless in the concert hall. It is a really old girls' private school with huge grounds, a lot of area which is out of bounds to students during the day, lots of trees. I am wandering around a pretty leafy area and I hear sounds of kids playing. Come to a small clearing. There is a swing set with a girl playing on it. She is wearing old-fashioned clothing, white dress, dark brown lace-up boots, basically exactly what girls wore in the late 1800s or early 1900s. This does not seem right. I meet the girl and I did not mention anything about the old clothes because I am a little kid and just accept people as they come. I guess there must just be some kids like this. She has dark brown hair and sickly pale skin. Basically, your archetypal little girl out of an old-fashioned photograph. I do not actually remember anything we did say though. Just kid talk, and I remember she giggled a lot. I do remember she did not know anything about the school. She just swings on the swing while I talk to her. She starts swinging much bigger, if that makes sense, and higher, and laughing harder. Launches off the swing through the air toward me on purpose. I think, wow, what the fuck are you doing? She is laughing in mid-air. Step out of the way instinctively. She flies past me and smacks into the ground, smashing her face and splitting her head open. Blood everywhere. She is screaming and crying. Teenage girl comes out from where the trees are, distraught and panicking. Kneels down next to the little girl, grabbing her and shouting at her. Light blue dress, light blue eyes, long blonde hair. I do not react to this the way I normally would if I saw someone get this badly hurt in front of me. I just have a chill in my gut and feel weird and sick as I watch this unfold. Older girl does not acknowledge me at all. Get the distinct sense they are not even aware I am there, and I am not present to them, and not because they are in shock and too preoccupied with the accident or anything, vice versa. This seems surreal and does not feel right, like I am seeing something that is not really happening. I run away, go to find somebody to tell them, but I am not really worried because I feel like no one is actually hurt, because I saw some scene playing itself out from the past, or a hallucination or something. Tell a lady I see outside before I get in the concert hall that a girl got badly hurt. Turned out she is a teacher at the school. Go in the hall, tell my mum. Teachers and my mum rush to where it happened with me. Swingset is there but no girl in sight. No blood. There would be nowhere to go to get help except the concert hall, except if they went out of the school's entrance, which is ages away. The grounds are searched, no girls found. They never hear anything about a little girl getting badly injured in the grounds that night. That girl looked like she was definitely going to die. Turns out that part of the school grounds used to be parkland, and a little girl whose home was nearby was killed playing there in the early 1900s.
Old schools are scary as shit at night. My old boarding school was always full of separate haunting, lots of different buildings all built in different time periods. I never experienced anything myself apart from waking to find my laundry all over my bed one morning, but that could have been sleepwalking since the building I stayed in was pretty new. However, various boarding house staff have reported the bed sheets being pulled off of them and seeing phantom students wandering around the main building and grounds during the dead of night.
Another person with a story to tell. My sightings actually start when I was in 3rd grade at a private school. In the classrooms, I would hear this voice whispering my name, and when we would go to the playground, I would see this shadowy figure always off in the distance. After about a couple of weeks of this going on, I decided to tell my teacher about it, being a Christian school. She looked at me a bit horrified and told me I was just imagining things and should just forget about it. A couple of days later, I was almost passing out in one of my classes when I heard that thing whisper my name and felt what I assumed was a hand hit me in the back of the head. I sat in the back with the wall behind me. Still have no explanation for that. Going forward about 5 years, my family and I moved to a new state, new house, new school, new people. Everything was normal for a while until it showed up again. I remember one night very vividly. I was asleep in my bed when I was awoken by the sound of my door opening. As I awoke, I looked over. I saw this black, hazy figure there in the doorway. I had the blinds open and my room was illuminated by the moon. It then proceeded to walk to the foot of my bed, turn and just stare at me. I stared back for just a few seconds until I heard that whisper again calling out my name. Fear overtook me, and I put the covers over my head and laid there motionless until I heard the door close. When I looked up over the covers, it was gone. I am now 20 and in college. Whatever it is, I fear it is back and getting closer. Once I was cooking some dinner and it was standing behind me and placed its hand on my left shoulder. It was cold, so cold. And then my hands could not stop shaking for a good hour. I have even seen it outside my window, peering in at me from time to time. I live on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex with no balcony outside. The worst experience that will haunt my memories for life will be what happened in December. I was sound asleep until I awoke to the feeling that something was not right. I could only move my head, just my head. My body was frozen. Fear overtook me as I saw my closet doors open. I should have seen clothes, but in their place was a room. A dark room with only a chair in the middle. Sitting on that chair was that shadow. It stood up and proceeded to walk towards me as it made its way into my room. It got up on my bed and stood above me, looking down. Those eyes, crimson red, staring at me, staring through me. It then moves its hand and points down at me. I suddenly felt as if I was being lifted from my bed, and then came this immense pressure around my neck. It was choking me. It became more and more intense to the point of where I could not breathe, until I was dropped on my bed and could finally breathe. I still believe this experience to be sleep paralysis, but so much of it felt real. I still think about that to this day, and I still wonder what it is.
All right, my law teacher told me this story. Like 6 years ago, I'm a little shaky on the details since it was a while ago, but I'll recount what I remember. Not much of a storyteller, so I'm sorry if my retelling's a little flat back. Sometime in the 70s, he and one of his friends were out biking on the trails in the Santa Cruz Mountains. They ended up going off trail and getting lost. After wandering, trying to gather their bearings for a few hours, they ended up coming across a chain link fence in the woods. Of course, they did what stupid teenagers do and climbed the thing to see what was being fenced off over here. After walking a bit more, they found one of those shitty little portable shacks a ways out. Obviously one of those "aw shit dude, what's this" moments. They tried to peek in the windows, but it looked like they were painted over, so they just decided to enter. Inside was a sterile-ass room and some kind of metal operating table type deal. Off in the corner was a steel drum, opened. His friend went to take a look at it. It was empty, but the inside was damp with something. He touched it and looked at his fingers, smearing it in his hand. He saw his friend turn ghost white and stammer out, "Byron!" Teacher's name was Byron. "This is blood." They stood around for a few moments, trying to confirm that it was in fact blood, obviously panicked and not sure what the hell to do with that information. They may have been stoned going by their behavior. He left that detail out, though. So next thing they know, they hear a truck pull up and they panic. And do what any rational, possibly stoned, panicked teenager would do. They hid under the table. Of course, they left the door open, so odds are they knew they were there. They heard someone step into the shack with some heavy-ass footfalls. They worked up the courage to take a look and saw a fucking massive, scary-looking motherfucker in a thick coat. He didn't describe him much beyond dark eyes, dark hair, just really gnarly and scary-looking, and just looked evil. Nowadays, I'm picturing someone like Mac's dad from Always Sunny, but bigger. The guy didn't say a word but came at them. They shoved the table at him and fucking bolted. They got to the fence. My teacher was the first one over it. If I remember right, he tore open his leg scrambling over it. His friend, on the other hand's pants got stuck trying to climb it. The scary motherfucker grabbed him and dragged him back towards the cabin. He started calling, "Byron! Go for help! Get help!" Didn't even bother with the bike. He didn't stop running until he found the trail again, booked it home, and called the cops. He never saw his friend again. The police found the place where the shack was and truck tire marks, but the trail went cold. He wouldn't tell his friend's name, he said. Last time he did, some of his students actually looked up his family and started asking them questions. I decided to try and look into it myself, but unfortunately Googling Santa Cruz Mountains disappearances will drag up pages and pages of results. Apparently, it's a scary fucking place.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.